Hello everyone, and welcome to another Arthritis Help Movement Improvement session where you learn to move differently so you can feel better. I'm Dr. David Sofer, physical therapist, and today we're going to be working on strengthening the shoulders and upper back. I have a lot of people come and asking me recently, how can I manage to do strengthening exercises for my shoulders when I have shoulder pain with shoulder arthritis? And so these are the top list of strengthening exercises and mobility exercises that I give people that are having shoulder pain and problems. And I'm going to show you progressions of how you can make them easier or harder and show you ways that you can position yourself so that you are safest and using your body in the most biomechanically appropriate and efficient ways possible. For this, we are going to need some tools. So one thing I want you to have is a stick. It could be a cane, it could be an umbrella, it could be a broomstick, but something that's long and firm that you can use to help move your body. You're also going to need a weight of some kind depending on your ability level. Some of these exercises, some of you will be fine with no weight, just going with the movement of your body. Others are going to want some weight, somewhere between 0 and 5 pounds. You'll have to moderate that based on how you feel and your comfort level. I'm going to be using a 2-pound weight today for demonstration. Last, an elastic band if you have one for one of the exercises, but if you don't, just something long and strappy like a belt or even a towel or a sheet would work that you can kind of pull against and get some resistance. Okay? And then we'll be doing everything lying down and a couple of things standing up. So let's lie down on our backs and get started. We're going to start lying down and using the cane just to help us get a little warm up and a little bit of mobility. So you're going to lie down on your back. Make sure you've got a pillow for your head. Make sure that you can be comfortable. We're going to allow your feet or knees to stand if that's a comfortable position for you. And we're just going to take the cane or the stick and we're just going to push it up into the air just like a bench press. And then we're just going to raise it overhead as best you can. And then back to center. And then down and up and over. This is just a mobility exercise to do the best you can. If anything hurts, go slow and don't move into pain. Remember, rule number one, what's rule number one? Always be kind to yourself, okay? So don't move into any pain and always listen to your body and how it feels. Okay, and we're just gonna go up and over. We're gonna do maybe 4 more of these just to loosen. Feel as your arms go overhead. Feel that your ribs open up and your chest opens up and your abdomen opens up, that your whole body is part of this movement. If things are locked down, right? If you lift your head and hold down, your arms get stuck and pinchy, right? So when we bring those arms up overhead, we want to feel that we're opening from the belly and from the chest. In fact, you could even take your eyeballs and look at the stick as you go over, and you'll see that that almost helps you to get a little bit further overhead. So just do what you're able to do, but notice that there are ways that you can alleviate stress by opening up other parts of your body. Very nice. Okay, now we're going to take the right hand, we're going to put an under grip just like this, and the left hand is going to be on the other end of the stick. We're going to keep the right arm straight, and we're just going to go out and overhead and then out and back. And so we're just going to use the left arm to move the right arm out and overhead and back. Good, just nice and easy. Again, just to loosen up the shoulder, let the shoulder be soft. If it hurts to come all the way out to the side, then come at more of an angle, just like this. This plane of movement that's not quite parallel to the floor is usually a little bit simpler, so you can move through there. And then if that's comfortable, you can use a little bit of a steeper angle towards the floor. And if you're fine there, we're just going to kind of go up and around. Good. And this is just a way to just relax the shoulder and get it nice and warmed up for any exercise. Good. And then we're going to switch it over to the other side. So we're going to have a nice under grip with the left hand, the right hand on the other end of the stick. The elbow is going to be straight on your left hand, and we're going to go good. Start with that kind of diagonal angle, right? Using the right hand to help move the left. And then we're gonna come around. And then ultimately, if that arm does comfortably get parallel to the floor, you can continue through that. If that arm comfortably gets overhead, you go there. If it only goes to here, then that's all you go. Or you kind of come up a little bit. So you just moderate this for whatever matches your mobility and your comfort level. We just want to get the shoulder to start moving comfortably, easily in the socket before we start doing strengthening exercises, feeling that we're also loosening at the ribs and loosening at the abdomen. Very good. Okay, we're going to put the stick away. Okay, very good. We're going to put the stick away and we're going to grab our weight. So we have our weight in hand. For this particular exercise that we're doing right now, it's usually a position that people are strongest, so you can use a heavier weight for this one if you have one. And all we're going to be doing is keeping the elbow close to the ribs and then pushing the elbow up straight, so that way the wrist and the elbow and the shoulder are all stacked one on top of the other, and then coming back down. And up, and then coming back down, making sure that elbow stays close. And when we come up, we don't want to be at an angle here. We want the weight to be balanced, wrist, elbow, shoulder, and then coming back down. Good. And now, as we get into that finished position, we're actually going to give a little extra length, right? So we're going to go from a short arm to a long arm, and then back to a short arm and down. So we're going to push up, and then long arm, and then short arm, and then bend. Straight the elbow, long arm, short arm, and then bend the elbow. Good. We're going to do 7 more of these. Long, short, and bend. Good. 6 more. Long, short, and bend. Good. And so you're getting a sense of your comfort and your tolerance, and you can always add weight or drop weight as feels comfortable for you. Good. Let's do 3 more. Up, long, short, and down. Good. 2 more, and 1 more. And this exercise exercises the triceps, the deltoids, and a muscle called your serratus anterior, which is a fancy muscle that helps to control the shoulder blade. Very good. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to make this a little bit more difficult. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move the elbow out so the shoulder is at about a 90-degree angle. And then from here, we're going to push. So we're going to start with a position where the wrist is over the elbow, right? And then we're going to push and finish in a position where the wrist, elbow, and shoulder are all in one line. And then we're going to come back down, wrist over elbow, and then push up, wrist, elbow, shoulder. When we come out this way, it's a little bit more challenging for the shoulder. So if this is causing any pain, you can always just bring that elbow down to a more shallow angle. Okay? The steeper the angle, closer to 90, the more challenging it is. The more shallow the angle, the easier it is, or the less strenuous it is on the shoulder. So I'm comfortable here, so I'm going to work from here and pushing up and then down. So wrist over elbow, and then push up, wrist, elbow, shoulder over one another. Good. We're going to do 5 more of those. Push and return. Push and return. Good. 3 more. Push and return. 2 more. This is good for the pectorals, good for the deltoids, good for the triceps. 1 more time. Push and return and relax. Very nice. Good. Whew, shake it out. We're going to swap that weight over to the other hand. We're going to start with the elbow in close to the ribs. And we're going to start wrist over elbow, and we're going to finish wrist, elbow, shoulder all in line. So just kind of get the feeling of that movement, and then adjusting your weight as you need. Sometimes it's appropriate to do this without any weight if that's what makes you feel comfortable. And so it's a good way to get started. Good. Now that we've got that feeling, we're going to go and then we're going to extra elongate that arm, and then we're going to bring it back down, and then we're going to bend. Good. So we're going to straighten, elongate, bring it back, retract, and then come down. Straighten, elongate, retract, come down. Straighten, elongate, retract, come down. Good. Feel that that weight is balanced over the elbow, over the shoulder. As you come down, we got 5 more to go. Straighten, elongate, retract, and then come down. That extra elongate, that push, that kind of plus movement gives us that work of the serratus anterior muscle, which is an important muscle for control of the shoulder blade. Good. And down, 2 more, punch, elongate, retract, return. One more time, punch, elongate, retract, return, take a rest. Good. Now we're gonna work from that side. We're gonna let that elbow come out to that 90-degree angle. And so we've got this 90-degree angle and wrist is over elbow, and then we're gonna push so it becomes wrist, elbow, shoulder, and then back down so it becomes wrist, elbow. Okay, this is more strenuous on the shoulder than the exercise before it, so adjust your weights accordingly, or if you bring that elbow into a shallower angle, then you'll have less stress on the shoulder and less pain. So we'll go from here, push and return. Good, we're gonna do 10 of these. This is number 2. Good, feeling everything line up, and then just the wrist and elbow staying lined up. Feel your arm reach out to the side, kind of punches and comes in and then reaches out to the side. Good. Try not to allow your shoulder to lift up into the air. You never want the elbow to be really lower than the shoulder. So if you have pain, you can come down a little bit less. Sometimes that will help. Good. We have 4 more to go. And punch and punch. Good. 2 more. Not letting the elbow fall down. Good. 1 more time. And relax. Very good. Okay, so we got those deltoids, those pectorals, those triceps working. Now we're going to do one of my favorite exercises for the rotator cuff, the pesky rotator cuff that gives everyone problems. So we're going to lie down on your side. You can get a thicker pillow for your head to make you more comfortable. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your top arm and you're going to bend it to 90 degrees. You're going to let your elbow rest on your ribs, and then you're going to let your hand just fall into your belly. Now we're going to maintain this elbow resting on the ribs. It's never going to lift, it's never going to fly, and we're just going to pivot the arm up through the shoulder. Feel that rotation through your shoulder right here as that hand goes up. So it's good to try this without weight, and this is using muscles that are not as big and not as strong as the last exercise we did. So if you want to go down in weight, you certainly can. If you want to do it with no weight, you certainly can. I usually don't advise anybody, no matter how strong they are, to do this with more than a 2 or 3 pound weight, because these aren't big, strong bulky muscles, so it's just more about activation. So we're going to come from here, we're going to pivot and come up, and then come down. We're going to do 10 of these, where we're coming up and come down, and notice that you're just really spinning the upper arm on its axis. You don't want the elbow bent to your chin, you want to keep it at 90 degrees up, because as you bring it up to the chin, it alters your mechanics, and so we're going to be upright from here, and then down, and you want to feel that your shoulder blade is actually able to kind of poke into your spine, that it actually slides down towards your spine as that hand comes up. It almost gives you a bigger chest. If you even wanted to roll back a little bit as you did it, that would be okay, but you don't want to do this. You don't want to be rolling instead of lifting. If you're rolling a lot instead of lifting, then you probably need to lighten the weight. Okay, we're going to work on our 10. I got 3 more. 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to relax and shake that out. If you feel some sort of pain running down the upper arm, that is very normal. That is a referral pattern for the rotator cuff, so that's a normal feeling, not a pathological feeling. If you're feeling pinching or sharp pain in the front of the shoulder, that's not normal. That means you need to reduce weight or change your form. All right, one more exercise in this position. You're going to lie down. We're going to hold that weight at your hip, and we're just going to bring the arm up to the ceiling, palm forward, and then bring it down to your hip, palm down. Up to the ceiling, palm forward, down to the hip, palm down. You can work on this, but if you're comfortable with this and you want to do more, you can allow that arm to come all the way over your head, and then bring it back up to the ceiling, and then down to your hip. If you're doing the overhead exercise, make sure the palm comes forward at the top, and then over the head, and then back, and then down, elbow straight the whole time. If over the head's a little uncomfortable, you can come in a little bit of an angle so it's more in front of your eyes, in front of your face than over the head. That's going to be a little bit easier on the shoulder for many people. And so you can just go wherever works for you. and take it nice and slow and smooth. Again, you don't have to use any weight for this if that's what is, your inclination, or you can just work in this range if that's what's comfortable for you. I'm going to do 3 more. Up, over, up, and back. 2 more. Up, over, up, and back. 1 more time. Up, over, up, and back. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to flip around to the other side, so that way we can be even. And so still going to be lying on the side. I've got my pillow folded over, lying down from here. Elbow is on the ribs and the hand is on the belly. We're just going to be spinning through the upper arm as we come up. Good, and not flying and not rolling too much. Feeling that the chest is opening and the shoulder blade is running back down toward the spine as you lift. I'm working on 10 of these. This is number 5, I think. 6, I'm not a great counter. 7, good. 8, if you start to feel a little something down here, that's normal. 9, and 10, and relax and shake it out. That's great. It really wakes up the rotator cuff, keeps it active and healthy. Okay, from here we're going to have hand on the hip. We're going to go palm down, just a palm up to the ceiling, and we're just going to see what that feels like. We are stronger in this direction, in this position, before we go overhead, so this is a good way to test. If this feels comfortable and you want to try to take it over your head, you can go over and then return. As you come over the head, it makes coordination of the shoulder blade, and some shoulder blade muscles work a little bit harder, and that's why it's more challenging. But if that's not for you, if you just want to come a little bit, that's fine. If you want to come a little bit in front, that's fine. If you don't want to do any of it, that's fine too. As long as you're comfortable, as long as you're being kind to yourself and working within whatever your body gives you. Okay, you do not need to copy me. You should not be trying to copy me. You should be trying to maximize your ability and get your body to move in the easiest, most comfortable way possible. I've got 1 more here. Up, over, down, and relax. Whew, very good. Okay, that's it for our lying down exercises. And so now I'm just going to grab the band, or if you don't have a band, the belt, and we're going to do some nice upper back exercise. And presto, I've got my band, and so I'm going to hold the band, palms up, and I'm going to extend my elbows fully in front of me. I'm going to hold the band, and then I'm just going to open my arms completely out, and then together. Good. Completely out, opening the chest, and then together. The higher the arms are, if they're 90 degrees, it's a little bit tougher. Okay, if you want to go a little bit lower, that's fine too. You're going to work the muscles in the back all the same, whatever's comfortable for you. So you've just got the band, elbows straight, opening up so you're like a T, and then back down. Good. If it feels strenuous for you, it's too hard, and you have a band, you can open up your hands just a little bit wider, and that'll make it easier to get to that end range. You won't come as far in, but that's fine. Whatever works for you. If it's super easy for you, you can double up the band, and that will make it much more resistive, and see how that works. So you can moderate this any way that works for you. I'm going to do 3 more, gripping here. We're going to do, I want you to do 10, 2, and 3. As you do this, you should feel and relax. You should feel the upper back muscles working and those shoulder blades coming together in the back. We'll take a rest, we'll shake it out. We're going to do 1 more set of these. If you have a band, continue with the band. If you don't, I'm going to demonstrate the next set with a belt. Okay, it is not quite as satisfying as the band, but it does work all the same. Okay, so we're coming off of our rest here. We're going to straighten out the elbows. If you have the belt, you're just going to open up the arms, elbow straight, and get it to a point where it's not quite, you're not quite fully at a T. And then from there, you're just going to imagine you're trying to pull the belt long and relax. You're opening up the belt, you're trying to extend or trying to stretch it out and feel yourself squeeze the shoulder blades together and the chest comes up when you do that. But if you have the band, use the band. It's a little bit simpler, a little bit more effective, and the bands are really inexpensive to get, so you can order them online if you'd like. They're a really effective tool and versatile. All right, I'm gonna keep going. I got 3 more. Although this is giving me quite a workout. I can really feel those upper back muscles singing to me today. And relax one more time and rest. Whew. All right, nice work. Okay, so we got the rotator cuff, we got the upper back muscles, we got some of the shoulder and chest muscles. I'm just gonna give you one more series in standing to help you coordinate and put them all together. The previous exercises that we did were working on individual muscles, more specific exercises. I like this one as a final because it kind of puts them all together. So this is a variation of a push-up. It's just modified to be a little bit simpler and a little bit more comfortable. So you're just going to want to be by a countertop. The higher the surface, the easier the exercise is. The lower, the more strenuous it becomes. And you're just going to put your arms about shoulder width apart, and you're going to keep your body straight, and you're just going to bend your elbows to lower your chest into the counter and then push to come right back up. The things that you want to be aware of is that you don't just want to dip your head as you're going, and you don't just want to like throw your belly forward and arch your back too much. So you want to be standing, so as your elbows are straight, your body is straight, you can bend. And then we're going to do 10 of these. Nice and easy. If you're uncomfortable going low, then just don't go so low. Just do a little bit. Do a 3/4 or a half, whatever works best for you. 3 more. And this works all of those muscles of the shoulder, the pecs, the triceps, the deltoids, all together, all as one. If working this is too challenging for you, then you can just use a wall and go to the wall and do a push-up on the wall with no lean, and that'll be quite a bit simpler. There you have it, a whole series of shoulder exercises that you can do, that you can modify the activity or the intensity to get good strengthening through all of the muscles of the chest, the shoulder, and the upper back, and still preserve comfort in the joints and in the muscles that might be giving you problems. Thank you for joining me today, and don't forget to thank yourself for putting in the time and effort to do the things you need to do to make yourself feel better. It is not easy, and it's worthy of your appreciation. I'll be back next week with a whole new video teaching you how to move differently so you can feel better. But if you want to look at all my videos from the past, you can go to my website, www.arthritishelp.info. Take care, everyone.